Hey, it's your boy AJ back with another freaking video, and today I'm here with part 3 of my arch nemesis series. Now look, girls, I didn't even tell y'all it was gonna be a part 3. Girl, the way I ended part 2, it could have been the last grand old thing, or we could have came back with an encore, and today we're here with an encore because, honey, like the story title reads, like, girl, this man followed me from one school to another, and I was actually speechless. I was actually like, I couldn't believe my eyes, realistically. I could not believe my eyes. So without further ado, girl, let's roll this intro so we can get directly into how Mike followed me to a whole nother school, child. So in the first 2 story times, I talked about who Mike was, how I met him, and girl, all of the nasty scandals that went down. So if you haven't seen the first 2 story times, girl, I don't know how you got here, but girl, welcome, but go watch the first 2 story times. Now the last story time ended where I said, girl, abruptly he got snatched and disappeared out of school, and I didn't see him no more. I thought that was gonna be the end to him. I thought it was gonna be the all be all. So here comes high school. High school, 9th grade year, I have to go to the anger management classroom. Now the anger management classroom I was in is called STEP, and STEP was only in certain schools throughout the district. I think it was only in maybe 2 high schools at the time, maybe 3 middle schools. It wasn't in every single school. Like, only certain schools had the anger management program. So in order for me to still be in the anger management classroom, I would have to go to a high school with the anger management classroom. So I had to go to, I don't know if I'm calling my, should I call my school out? I don't know. I had to go to this ghetto high school. Moral story, girl. I had to go to this ghetto high school or whatever, which was halfway across town from where my mama stayed, baby. My mama had moved to the suburbs, and I had to go all the way to the hood. Had to go all the way to the hood to go to school. So like I talked about in another story time, I can't remember what story time, but I ended up getting into school and it ended up looking like a university, child. My high school looked like a university the first day I walked in, and girl, I was speechless. It was so many people just so everywhere. It was so many people everywhere. Child. So the first year of me being at the high school was actually cute. I had a couple run-ins, and you know, those would be another story time for another day, honey. But this story time, we talking about the run-in with Mike. But I'm living life. At this point, I forgot all about Mike, girl, because at this point I haven't seen him in maybe 2 years, 1.5 years, 2 years. It's been a good while, and I'm cruising through high school, girl. I'm in the anger management classroom, and I'm still having a couple scuffles with the other girls, but my middle school nemesis is nowhere to be found, honey. Mike is nowhere to be found. So I had an awesome 9th grade year. There's, like I said, a couple ups and downs. I'll talk about those in a different story time. But we're gonna skip to 10th grade. So 10th grade, girl, I remember having to come and do my first 2 weeks in the anger management classroom. Now, like I said in previous story times, if you haven't seen, in order for us to go to the actual, you know, algebra, English, gym, theater, culinary, personal finance, for us to go to those classrooms, we had to sit in the anger management classroom for the first 2 weeks and behave. We had to do that every year at the top of the year. So this was during this probation period. I call it the probation period, girl. So I'm doing my probation period, and this is just the first day. Literally, this is the first day, August 8th, August 9th, one of the Augusts. I can't remember which one, but girl, this is the first day of school. So we come into the classroom, and at this point, it's a whole new group of anger management students, plus, you know, the old students. So I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a lot of anger management students, because I was running a little tardy at this point. I'm gonna be honest, I remember being tardy to that party. The first day of school, I don't remember why I was tardy 10th grade year, but I ended up being tardy, and I ended up not even wanting to go that first day. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But girl, I remember coming into the classroom, and when I came up in there, it was so many students, and I was like, girl, like, oh my god, like, where all these anger management students come from? Like, oh my god, it was not, because normally it'd be like 15, 17, 20 of us at the most. I came up in there, and it's a full, like, basketball team. Like, it's 27, maybe 30 if I blink 2 times and squint and look hard. It's probably 34. It was a lot of people in there, and I remember being like, girl, what is this, girl? What is this?
Ooh! Ah, the ghetto! The ghetto!
Now, I ended up sitting down, honey, and I was just, you know, kikiing with the people at the front of the classroom that I knew, because they was all at the front of the classroom. So I'm like, let me sit up here with them. So I'm kikiing with the people that I know from last year. I'm catching up with the teachers and assistants and da-da-da-da. And I'm not really acknowledging the other people that sat to the back of the classroom or left of the classroom, because them the newbies. The newbies, I'll find out who they is when I find out who they is. But right now, I need to catch up with my girls I ain't seen in 2 months. Let me see what's up. So I'm catching up with my homegirls or whatever, girl. And I remember, I'm getting triggered, sorry. I remember as I'm catching up with one of my homegirls, the crack of my eye sees Mike, but in my head, I always do this deflective like thing where I'm like, no, I'm tripping. No, I'm tripping. So I remember not even wanting to look back over, because I'm thinking, why did my mind go there? I'm thinking like, girl, why did my mind go there to think that's Mike. And I remember not even looking over there to check again if that was Mike. So I'm like, girl, that ain't no Mike. I'm never gonna take a double take because I know that ain't no Mike. I don't know what's going on in my brain, but it's giving psychopath. It's giving psychopath. So I'm still talking to one of my homegirls that was in the anger management classroom still. And if you want to know who I'm talking about, I did a story time about her. Her ponytail flew off. Go watch that story time, honey. I'm gonna have her come tell her side. Okay, I'm gonna have her come tell her side because that's still my girl to the day.
I'm telling you my side.
To this day, that's still my girl. But I'm talking to her, and I end up going back to my desk. Now I'm sitting at my desk. The day goes on. It's maybe like an hour and a half. I don't know. It was an hour and something, and they end up having to walk us down somewhere. I don't know where we end up walking down to. Yes, a 10th grade meeting. A 10th grade meeting. Yes, 10th grade meeting. It was a 10th grade meeting, which is ghetto. Why would they do the 10th grade meeting on the first day of school? Because all the 10th graders wasn't guaranteed to be there, but girl, they did it. So as they lined us up, like all the 10th graders lined up, we lined into the line, girl. And 2 spots behind me, I realized that it's actually Mike. And I'm like, ain't no way. Ain't no way that that's Mike. I'm thinking I've been easy breezy cover girl all 9th grade year. I thought I got rid of him. I thought I pushed that bitch off a balcony. I did not know. I did not think that I was like, when I literally seen him earlier that day, like an hour before, I was like, I'm not even gonna look back to that side of the classroom because that's totally not Mike, and I'm over here tripping. I'm over here tripping out of my mind. And when they call us 10th graders to line up and he hops 3 spots behind me in the line, I could have had a heart attack. I could have had a heart attack because I was so gagged. So we're in the 10th grade line and they end up walking us down to the auditorium to do the 10th grade meeting or whatever. Now at this point, I didn't see Mike. Mike just seen me. We ain't saying nothing to each other, honey. And he's a little older at this time, and I also have to give what tenants do. They have came into their self a little bit more. They're not the hottest thing on the block, but they don't really look like a little. They kind of usually look like a little frog back in middle school. Now they don't really look like a frog no more. They don't really look like a frog no more, but it's nothing that I would, just be settling down with. But I'm looking, at him in the 10th grade meeting, and I don't really think he was looking at me, but I'm looking at him in all disbelief because I literally thought I got rid of him. I don't know how I thought I got rid of him, girl. He just disappeared. I don't know how I thought I got rid of him, but I thought I got rid of him. So I'm looking at him and I can barely listen to the 10th grade meeting. I can barely listen to whatever they saying on that stage because I am fairly gagged. We line back up, we go back to the anger management classroom, and we get to the anger management classroom. So after the 10th grade meeting and we get back to the anger management classroom, people are just mingling and introducing themselves to each other. I end up, I don't know what down in my spirit, but I was like, I gotta say something to Mike. I don't know what I want to say to Mike, but I gotta say something to Mike because I cannot believe that we're just sitting here acting like we don't know each other, even though we're arch enemies. It's like we need to be fighting or we need to be like either arch enemies turn best friends. Like, what is going on? We need, we can't just be sitting in here. Like, I'm too childish for this. I'm too childish. Something has to happen. So I end up going over to Mike and I'm like, oh, so you don't speak like cat got your tongue. I said something crazy along those lines. I don't know if it was as corny as cat got your tongue, but I said something about his tongue was being, withheld. So he's like, oh, I thought you didn't F for me. And I'm like, oh, I ain't never bothered about nothing that happened in middle school and 7th grade at that. So I'm thinking I'm eating it. I'm thinking I'm eating it, right? I'm thinking I'm eating it, girl. I'm thinking I'm eating it. We're catching up. And I'm gonna be honest, thoroughly, it was a cute conversation. I remember that we ended up talking as the day ended up coming on. I remember 2:15 came. They was calling us out for the buses. Girl, I was running out to the buses, and it was a good time. And I thought, wait a minute, could this be a frenemy situation? Could this be an enemies turn friends? Like, what is this? And this was all the first day, y'all. I'm dramatic. I am crazy and dramatic. I'm like, could this be like a frenemy situation? So I'm thinking like, oh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So I remember that first day, girl, I ended up going home and I ended up talking to my brother. I'm like, do you remember Mike? Because my brother was in all my beefs. Like, not like in it fighting, but like if I had a beef and I was beefing with somebody real bad, I would come home and use him as therapist. So he knew everybody. He knew who's. So I'm like, you remember Mike? Well, not like I'm on the phone, but I'm talking to him in front of him. So I'm like, so you remember Mike? So we like, yeah, I remember Mike. I'm like, tell me why this man popped up. And I'm acting like he done popped up as if he's like a visitation guest or something. He done popped up in my class, my management classroom. And me and my brother just goofing and gagging. So the next day I come to school, girl, Lord behold, Mike is not there. And something in my spirit was like, girl, Mike didn't come back today because he felt that you went here. And he probably gonna try to go to another high school. They got the anger management classroom, which was only 2 high schools at the time. I don't know if it might be more than 2, now, probably just one now. But girl, it was only 2 high schools at the time, which is how he got to my school. He had to either go to my school or this other school with the anger management classroom. And also, I've been drinking a little Taylor Port, so I forgot to say this. The day we was catching up in the back, I was just asking him a whole bunch of questions, asking him where did he disappear to in middle school. He ended up saying he got kicked out and was sent to alternative school. He had to do 2 years at alternative school, which was the 8th grade year and 9th grade year. And now he had to go back to normal school and had to be in anger management classroom. So he was like, oh, he picked this school because it was closer to his house. So we was really catching up. So anyways, the next day come, girl, he's nowhere to be found at school. And I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, my frenemy is gone. I'm thinking in my head like, oh, I thought we was gonna be frenemies. This man is gone. So it was nothing new for Mike to miss school. Like I said in the other story, when school first started, he was missing school then. So it has nothing changed and we're in 10th grade. So I think he ended up not coming back until maybe Thursday. And he had a tendency to do that because he didn't feel like sitting into the anger management. He didn't feel like sitting in the anger management classroom the first 2 weeks to prove that he was able to go out to his normal classes. But he ends up coming back Thursday. And I remember when he came back, he had these snacks and these lunches. And I automatically got triggered.
I don't like that.
And I was like, it's not giving friends, it's not giving enemies, it's not giving nothing. It's giving leave me be. Because I automatically got triggered from when he was trying to bring me lunches in middle school. And I was like, hey, my eyes started to glitch a bit. I was like, there's no way. There's no way this is still like your antics. Totally presented it a different way this go around. He was like, oh, I brought you this, It wasn't given like, let's have a picnic and date this go around. Amen. But it's a simple fact of what's going on here with you trying to bring me like, are you poisoning me? Because I did eat it and I didn't die and I'm here telling the story. But like, were you trying to poison me? What is going on here with the food situation? Anyways, over the next couple of months, you guys, we end up building a little frenemy situation. I almost said friendship. Frenemy situation, honey. But all things good must come to an end. Okay? Okay, girl. Ain't that crazy? So, 10th grade ends up happening. We end up having like a little friendship. We really wasn't talking. At first, when we first seen each other, we was talking. I'm gonna be honest. We was talking a lot, catching up. But you know, after that phase of, oh my God, girl, I haven't seen you. Let's catch up. You know, we kind of, you know, start doing our own thing throughout the school. So, 10th grade year, we were cool. 11th grade year was cool. And I remember right before Christmas break, it was a hold down. It was a hold down. Moral of the story was hold down. Actually, I think this was Thanksgiving break. Yeah, this was Thanksgiving break because, yes, I remember, girl, I remember seeing my mama sleep in bed all Black Friday, bitch. Yes. Thanksgiving, 11th grade year, girl. Fast forward to 11th grade year. This is right before Thanksgiving. Now, I don't remember what happened. Why me and Mike started arguing. I don't remember how we fell back into a beef, but we had fell back into it and we were beefing hard, girl. We were beefing hard. Now, at this time, girl, Facebook was a real heavy and it was real ghetto. It's still real ghetto. But this is when the ghetto stuff, this is when like the moms started to kind of leave and the ghetto hood rat, high school, middle school civilians got on there. So this is this era. It's something said on Facebook, which is absolutely crazy. Because as y'all can tell from a lot of story times, like people had no shame in their game. Like they would go and talk crap about me on Facebook, Twitter, and use my full-blown government. Like, girl, so this man is talking crap about me on Facebook as if I don't see him at school Monday. So he's living his best one, doing his big one on Facebook, and I'm chill because I'm like, I know I gotta see you Monday. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I know I have to see you Monday. We had like 2 classes together, and also we're in the anger management classroom together. We literally have to check in every morning with the anger management teacher and be like, hey, we're here. What's going on? So I know I'm gonna catch you. I'm the first person in the school, so I'm gonna sit in this anger management classroom until you get here. I know I'm gonna catch you. So as I've explained in different story times, since I stayed all the way in the suburbs, and the school that I went to with the anger management classroom was way in Timbuktu, I had to get on the bus at like 5:50 a.m. honey, and I would end up getting to the school at maybe like 6:40, 6:45. Mind you, school that starts at 7:15, girl. So I would get there when the teachers is rolling up, girl, pulling up in their little minivans, beep beep, and I would hop out and I would accompany them inside of the building, girl. So I would walk on in there building with them. Normally, most of the time, realistically, I was the first people there at school with the teachers, girl. There wasn't no other students there. I was the first people there at school. And I was more than excited to be the first person at school this gay around. I'm like, oh, you done did this. Oh, I think he had said something on Snapchat too and Facebook. I said, oh, I am more than happy to be the first person at school because I know you guys come up in here to check in. So I get to the school. It's 6:40, maybe be 6:45. I don't know, girl, but I know it's just me and the teachers and the administrators. I walk on in. I end up going to the anger management classroom and sitting there with my teacher. So I'm sitting there and the time goes by. I think like 7:02 comes, and now a couple buses are coming in. A couple people, not too many, but you know, a couple students are coming in. So I'm like, all right, I got a hold down to do. Let me go run and go get me some breakfast real quick before Mike gets here. I'm like, before Mike gets here, let me go give me a little meal in me so I can be ready for this ass whooping I got to give. Let me be ready. So I go on to the cafeteria, you guys. So as I'm going to the cafeteria, I hear a laugh that I know because I've been hearing this laugh since middle school. And I'm like, oh, that's Mike. Oh, he's hungry too. Well, he's about to get fed, bitch. I said, oh, he's about to get fed. Literally, I remember like, oh, I know. I'm thinking in my head also. I try to talk myself out of stuff. I'm like, there's no way that ain't Mike laughing. He ain't here just yet. It's only like 7:03, 7:02. He ain't here just yet. I bust into the cafeteria, y'all. And there go Mike standing to the left. And I look at him and I scream out at him and I'm just cussing. Like I automatically start going off. As soon as I seen that it was him, I just started losing my mind. I'm going off. I'm going off. Now this teacher ends up like pulling me and like calming me down and like chill out. So I'm like, okay, I'm chill. So I end up going to go get my breakfast, going in, get a couple things to eat up. Cause I'm like, okay, I didn't see the teacher at first. I was gonna go up in here and smash and lose my mind, but I'm not gonna do it right now since the teacher gonna pull me and chill down. So I go into the line and I get my breakfast. I get this. I get like an orange juice, like a little piece of bagel. They had these amazing piece of bagels at the time with these little sausages on it. It was so good. So I'm getting my breakfast or whatever, and I come back out and I end up seeing that Mike now has an entourage. So when I first called him, it was only maybe like him and somebody else, and he was he and ha at the top of his lungs. But now since I came back out, he has a little entourage and he's kind of barking doing his big one. So I'm like, oh, he done got a studio audience, and now he gotta be the entertainer of his life. He gotta entertain all the people. Oh, all right. Oh, girl, if you really want to entertain the people, I can entertain the people. So now he has this studio audience, and I mean a good maybe 7, 8 folk around him, and he eating it up. Talking about some what was said, what was said, what was said, you all die, da, da, da. So as he's hollering what was said, I hollered back, I said you a clown bitch. That's what I said. I said you were a clown bitch.
If somebody get the red nose, this bitch is a clown.
So as he, girl, girl, I don't even mean to be screaming like that, but I can still hear it to this day. And he used to do the most, like the queen of all queens. Falling out. So I'm like, do you want to fight about it though? I said, what was said on your Facebook? Do you want to fight about it though? Like, do you want to fight about it though? So at this point, I'm ready to get active. At this point, I'm ready to get active.
Yeah, get active.
So I kind of walk over and I don't know, his female army crew is kind of blocking it. Now I'm like, I don't want to have to knock these hoes over. Like, God, please move these hoes. I would hate to have to knock these hoes over. So I'm like, look here, I don't want to knock all these hoes over. I'm gonna kind of walk around the table. So I walk around the table, and at this point, it's a table between us, but we're still having like an altercation. I'm saying this, he's saying that, Before I knew it, girl, I had took my little orange juice and socked that nigga in his face with it. Socked that in his face with it, and he gagged. He's gagged, and he's kind of looking at the orange juice that hit his face on, now hitting the ground. So after he looked down, I jump over the table, real shit. Girl, and this is going out, it's probably 7:07 a.m. I jump over the table, and he starts to fly. Girl, this man is running and running and running. This man is running. The way our school cafeteria was, it was like a wall, and it had like a hall where you can go through here and go to the main hallway, and then also a hall where you can go through here and go to the main hallway. So we're right here. Girl, I done jumped over the table. Jumped over the table to attack him, and he starts running and goes through this hallway. And at this point, I'm like, I'm all in. I start chasing behind. Him. I'm running. I don't know where this coach ends up snatching me up. I'm getting snatched in the wind, and it's like a crazy snatch because I'm blowing through the wind like a leopard, girl. So he snatches me up, and this boy, and just the simple fact that Mike was running, I didn't even care about being snatched up. The people it wasn't that many people there, but it was enough people there. It was well over maybe 300 people there. So it was enough people there for, it's like, nigga, the news is about to spread like wildfire. Before 7:15, everybody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna know. So I didn't even care about being snatched up and stopped, because it's like you just took off. Like, you took off, and everybody's seen that. So I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. So at this point, the coach is holding me, and he's like, you one of the X, Y, and Z's kids, which he was calling the anger management teacher class out. And I was like, so is him, so I don't know where he going. Like, we finna see each other, girl. It's him a deal. I don't know where she going, baby. I shot that Escalade up. I don't know where he going, because we both in the same anger management classroom, so we're going to see each other, period. Period. We're gonna see each other, period. I don't know where he going. But I end up telling the coach, like, yeah, I'm in X, Y, and Z's class. Yeah, that's my anger management teacher. So he ends up calling the anger management teacher on this walkie-talkie, and the anger management teacher comes down. So the anger management teacher ended up walking me to the class, and I'm sitting in the classroom, and I'm at this point, the whole time I'm just waiting on Mike. I'm waiting on Mike. So, girl, as I'm waiting on Mike, administrator walks in, and I'm like, what is this? So, girl, the administrator walks in with this little piece of paper. Moral of the story, they end up suspending me. And this literally just happened on the first day of like the Thanksgiving week. So I end up getting like, I think I couldn't come to school Tuesday, but of course Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday you were off due to Thanksgiving. And I don't remember, I don't think I came back until maybe the next, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember. But they end up suspending me because I threw orange juice and socked him in his face and da-da-da. What was all that? Y'all, I have to, like, y'all probably don't believe me with these stories. Like, I got to find these suspension papers and read off the description. I need to see if I can log into Power School. If y'all don't know what Power School is something that they keep your attendance, your grades, and also if you get suspended, it still has that stuff there. So I need to be able to read y'all the incident report. So I ended up getting suspended, but he didn't get suspended. He did not get suspended. And I'm thinking like, this nigga done tried me, but they don't care nothing about that Facebook. They don't care what was said on Facebook. They don't care what happened on Snapchat. You was in their cafeteria throwing orange juices, jumping over tables, trying to fight. They don't care nothing about that. So I'm thinking like, okay, when I get back to school, I'm gonna tear his ass up again, but I'm gonna get him in the anger management classroom. Because if I get you in the anger management classroom, they can't really do nothing necessarily, because it's the anger management classroom. Like, we're in here, you know, because we like to fight. But since it was out in the middle of, like, you know, school and what did I say, like, what, disturbing, it's something, girls, something like disturbing. They're more lenient if you do stuff like that and have physical altercations in the actual anger management classroom. But if it happens in front of other students, they was like, oh, we can't have students seeing y'all fight, trying to fight, throwing stuff, and come back to school tomorrow, so we gotta at least give y'all a day or two. Eat my cocker spaniel. But I'm mad at this point. I don't care if he got 4 days, 5 days, 20 years. The fact that I was suspended at all and this man was on Facebook talking cash money-ish is unacceptable. So I could not wait to see him at school, girl. I could not wait to see him at school. So the next day ends up coming. Well, the next time I end up coming to school, I'm looking around for him. He's nowhere to be found because they got him down there in the special needs classroom helping out the special needs kids. I don't think he was helping out the special needs kids. I felt like he had found his people. But he's down there with the special needs kids, and I don't want to bust in the special needs classroom and start fighting this man. Like, I would look like a maniac. So I'm like, I'm heated the whole time. Because after suspension, she would have to do 2 more weeks in the anger management classroom, or either maybe a week. It depends on how good or how much, you know, they was really feeling you. Sometimes I would get suspended and I wouldn't have to do 2 weeks, a week. I would do like a day or 2 in the anger management classroom. That I was back taking my normal classes. But this is during the era where they got me sitting inside of the anger management classroom and I can't go to class just yet because I was caught fighting. So I'm looking for this man. I end up finding out he in a special needs classroom, so I'm not gonna bust in there and fight because I'm already in trouble with my mama, because I done seen her sleep in all day on Black Friday, girl. She did not get up, crank that car up to go nowhere, so I know she ain't got nothing for me. So I'm like, I don't want to do nothing else, and I don't want to bust into that classroom and fight him again. So I was eventually let back to go to class. I was able to go to all my normal classes, all 7 of my classes, and once I got back out with my normal friends and my people that I was chilling with, I was like, I'm not even gonna risk being pulled back and thrown into the anger management classroom to fight Mikey Ike. I'm not gonna sit here and try to be Ike to Mike. So I had did it, and I had really been over it. So this is like the end of, almost coming to the end of December. It's almost Christmas break, you guys. And Mike ends up getting into a fight. Now let me explain Mike. I don't know if I explained how Mike looks, but he's like literally a little gay boy. Like, he's so short. I'm 6'3", 6'4", you know, on a good day with a good pair of sneakers. And Mike is literally probably like 5'8". I don't know. I don't really know the 5s, girl, because I'm nowhere near the 5s. But he's 5 something, honey. And he ends up getting into a fight. Now, who he getting in a fight with? He got in a fight with this girl. So you remember the entourage I told y'all that he was with, all of them girls? So him and all of them girls end up getting into it with these other girls. I think it was maybe 2 of the girls. So all this big broad ends up breaking out during school, and Mike is here fighting with 6 other girls, jumping on these other 2 girls. So he immediately gets expelled, bro. That man gets kicked. Big heavy boots kicked out of the school. Big heavy boot kicked out of the school because you thinking you a female. You is not a girl, bitch. He thinking he a female and he can jump in and jump these other two girls. And when I found out about it, I was ready to jump him. I was ready to call my boys so we could jump him, and I didn't even know nothing of who he was jumping. But when I found out he jumped them girls, I was completely speechless and gagged because it's like, girl, you never really had that same smoke for me. I literally just tried to fight you the month before and you ran. And you ran. You ran. And now for you to jump in on a fight and jump two girls, that is crazy. So he ends up getting expelled and kicked out of school, girl. Kicked out of school, girl. And I was like, I know that's the last of him. I know that's the last of him, girl. So that is my rivalry story. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1, 2, and now 3. I love y'all so much. Thank you guys for supporting me. Go down to my description box. Join my membership to get exclusive, crazy, and I mean crazy story times. Okay, girl. Okay, go. First link in the description box. Okay, honey. Also, stick around to see the Storytime playlist. Go watch the other first 2 stories if you just sticked around and watched all of this and you was just like, I just want to see what he talk about. But go watch the first 2 parts if you haven't seen it. But I love y'all so much. Screw you, Mike. You know it's up and forever, girl. It's up forever. If I see Mike tomorrow, I'm gonna have to give him a knuckle P buck. Anyways, I love y'all so much and I'll definitely see y'all in a different video. Bye.